So resolving fire is always the same procedure. We take a random factor, we add it to the weapon factor and the tactical factor to arrive at a total factor. We cross-reference that total factor with the number of figures firing to achieve the casualties inflicted. And then I'm going to use the alternate rule of D20, and we'll see how that works in a minute. But random factors, so again, regular and irregular matters. In this case, the Bretons firing are irregular. For missile and artillery fire, that could potentially mean a range of +1, +2, or +3 for the random factors. So we're going to make some dice rolls here. So lower is black. Black got a 4. So that's lower, the lower value. So that's the negative dice, the positive dice. So the difference between them is a +1. If the difference between the dice is positive, the random factor modifier is +3 for missile fire. Let's do the same thing over here for the crossbowmen. These French crossbowmen, however, I think those are regular troops. Let's look. Yep, French crossbowmen are regular troops. Again, black is the lower or negative dice. Okay, in this case it would matter because these are regular troops, so they can't get a 1 on this dice roll. So this actually gets converted to a 3. Because it's a dAVG rule. The 4 stands though. So this is the lower dice, so it's actually a negative result of 1. In this case, the total is negative, so the random factor modifier is +1. I adjusted in the original WRG rules, it was a -1, 0, +1. But in looking at chainmail in my previous experience with this rule set, I found missile fire to be quite weak. And so I did a couple thought experiments and decided that I needed to bump things. I had to shift the curve, 2 factors to the right, and that's what we did. Okay, so now we've got the random factor. What's the weapons factors here? Weapon factor for missile fire. So hand-hurled javelin from a footman or charioteer, and this is going to be versus what we would call medium horse or medium cavalry. I think in the original rules, cursors are considered HC. So in this case, HC is a little bit different. So HC, we're going to be looking at this column right here, which is actually heavy horse. I think I'm going to stick with MC, and I'm going to modify the scenario. So hand-hurled javelin, medium. So that's going to be a factor of 4. I'm just going to add. Oh my, to quote George Takei. Oh my. So that's going to be a random factor of 4 over here. So we're going to plop down another dice. Let's look at the crossbowmen. Same situation, crossbowmen. Are those heavy crossbowmen? French, they are considered LHI. So I think I'm going to consider those heavy crossbowmen versus, again, medium horse. So that's going to be a factor of 4. Same situation over here. Let's look at the tactical factor. Tactical factor for the firing. I got to tell you, as much as I have invested in this rule set, it is quite a lot of crunching and thinking compared to my fast resolution system. So we're going to go, we might only do a handful of turns here. So tactical factor. Expert hirelings, nope. Missileers or artillery, yes. Missileers firing indirectly, nope. Firing an enemy who has moved or will move at least 6 inches, -1. So take that 6 to make it easy. Missileers firing on unshielded troops, +1. Melee doesn't count. General considerations, not disordered, no height advantage. Oh, actually, height advantage does not apply to gunpowder weapons, but would over here. Pikemen or longmen, nope. Charging or countercharging, it receives an impetus bonus, doesn't apply yet. Leadership, army commander. Noble commands the ward to which the troops belong is fighting in melee with them, nope. Distractions, nope. Okay, Master of Bows doesn't apply here. I think that's it. We've gone through all the tactical factors. All right, last step, 6 minutes in. Now we look at the number of figures firing versus the factors. So this case, these Bretons, there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Can we do 2 ranks firing with javelins? Let's take a look. Oh, the answer is in the weapon factor table because it gives ranks firing. Ranks firing for missile fire, one rank firing. I think I changed that for Bowman. Let me double check the revised rules. I double checked it, and if the missileers are firing indirectly in certain circumstances, you can get 2 ranks firing. So in this case, we're just looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 figures, and the weapon or the combined factors here are 8. So it's going to be 25 casualties, which is going to be remove 1 horsey, and then there is a 5 in 20 chance that I'll remove another one. So let's roll that now. So if I get a 5 or less on D20, I'll remove another figure. I got a 1, so I'm going to remove 2 figures from this. Actually, I'll remove it from the side that got fired upon. Is that more than 50%? No. Will that affect potentially the amount of dice this guy rolls in various circumstances? Yes. So I might, there's just so much in this rule set that is desirable, and yet there's so much tracking that makes it undesirable. Okay. Factors of 5 firing at this guy over here. And that is 5 troops firing. 5 troops firing. That's 13 figures. So in this case, or 13 casualties. So in this case, I got to roll a d20 again, because I'm not tracking all this stuff. No effing way. 16, so nothing. I'm not going to remove anything from there. So remove that. Remove that. Done with missile fire. Now we'll get the remainder of the movement here. Okay, because this unit lost 2 figures, it has to roll a reaction test. It's not down a third. It's only down 25%, so it still gets to roll 3 dice. Rolled a 9, 10, 11, 12. Even if we took off up to 3 factors, it would still be in the same band for grade B, which is persevere, so they will strike the back of that Breton unit that's running away. Okay, the complexity just continues. So I've moved these horses up into contact with the rear of those Bretons, putting a blue cube down to indicate there's going to be a melee. These medium horse are now striking these Irish kerns in the front. The Bretons have completed their evasion movement and turned about way back there after interpenetrating these 2 Lightfoot units. Because there are only 2 ranks, they're able to do that interpenetration. It does not disorder them. I'll double check that, but I don't think so. So there's going to be a melee there, These horse, I brought them out. These aren't considered standing cav because they would not have halted. They halted basically at the same time they were crashed into by these heavy horse. So we're going to keep that the same. The Army commander stays back instead of getting himself involved in this situation with all these heavy horsemen out there on the field. That would be the smart play. Although, yeah, and he's got a lot to lose, doesn't he? I guess I'm going to do a reaction test for him and just see what he does. Perseveres. He's not impetuous. This is not an uncontrolled advance kind of situation. Okay, so this commander is going to stay there. Interesting. So there will be a melee there. These guys, because they were not charging, turns out that those heavy horse units, super heavy knights, can only move 6 inches, so they're staying where they're at right now. This unit, because this unit halted and got crashed into, had to veer around. So I am allowing him to complete his charge movement, but because he had to make those additional wheels, even had he been able to reach this guy, it wouldn't have been considered a charge. It would have been considered normal movement because you have to impact with quite a lot of straight line move, and he would not qualify for that. But it turns out that he actually runs out. Now, I gave him his full charge move because when this began, it looked like there would easily, no problem. Sure, he's going to make it to the melee, but he didn't, and that's going to be a problem for him. So I just double checked the rule. Longbowmen can fire indirectly. Longbowmen can fire on the move. So as they moved up into position, they're able to take indirect shots out to half of their range. Their range is 21 inches. They can reach 10.5. So all of these 6 longbowmen were able to shoot at that guy. And then these 6 longbowmen can't quite reach this guy with everybody. I might give them some arrow fire here with a part of their unit that falls within 10.5. So 10.5, let's see, so that guy's within 10.5. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are going to get to shoot in the missile segment. Okay, so I went ahead and rolled for these 4 guys that can shoot, rolling the random factor. So low value is 1, but these are regular troops, so this gets bumped to a 3. Doesn't matter. High dice minus low dice means it's a positive result. Positive result for missile fire results in a random factor of 3 for these 4 guys. We're going to do the same thing over here for these 6 guys. So 6, 1, exact same thing. So 3 and 3, so that makes it easy. Are there any tactical factors that apply here? Firing indirectly, yes, so -1. So that takes us down to 2 for both sides. Firing at an enemy who has moved or will move 6 inches, yes, so it takes us down to 1. Within 5 inches of a master of bows, yes, the master of bows would have moved up with his units, so that takes us back up to 2. Firing at unshielded troops, no, those are heavy horsemen, so they're always considered shielded. Artillery throwing darts, no. General considerations, no. Leadership distractions, nope, none of that stuff. So 2 is our total factors here, times the number of figures on the combat results table. Oh, we forgot our weapon factor here. So, missile fire, these are longbowmen versus heavy horse. And this is heavy horse with metal barding, so 3. So 2 plus 3, that gives us a total factor of 5. Now let's come to our combat results table here. And it's only 1 rank firing in both cases because it's 6 men in a line. So 6 cross-referencing with 5. We get 15 casualties, which is not enough to remove a figure. However, it's going to be both of these guys. So 15 on this guy, 15 on this guy. So let's go ahead and roll the 1d20 and see what happens here. If I get less than 15, we will remove a figure. 19 and a 12. So we're going to remove 1 figure over here. We're not going to remove a figure there, and I don't track all this casualty nonsense. That's it for missile fire. Moving on to melee.